Hello, welcome to GED exam preparation class. I am your host and instructor, Ruben Herrera. And on this lesson, my friends, we are going to learn about inequalities. Okay, so before we go into inequalities, let us learn about the inequality symbols. Okay, so these are the inequality symbols right here. Okay, so for example, right here, I have greater than, I'm sorry, this is a smaller than, and this is greater than, and then I have equals, is smaller than or equals, greater than or equals, and not equals right here. Okay, so but do not worry about what to call these symbols right here on your GED exam. You're not going to be tested on what to call those, but rather on how to use them. Okay, so we have to make sure, my friends, right here, for example, I have the right here the smaller than symbol. Make sure that right here where you have the pick right here on this side right here, this is where you will place, or this is where the smaller or the small values go in here. And then right here where you see the open space, the big space in here, this is the place that calls for the bigger values or the biggest number. So some people like to compare this to a crocodile uh, mouth. I'm sorry. Some people like to compare this with Pac-Man. You can use whatever you like. Okay, that's no problem. But just make sure that you always put the smaller value in here and the bigger number on this side. Okay, and then the same thing with this. You will put the bigger value here where the bigger open space is, and the smaller value in here. Okay, so now let us look at a inequality very quick. These are very similar to equations, so they're very easy to get confused, my friends. Okay, but I'm going to show you a trick so that we can solve for inequalities very easy. Now, on this inequality right here, we also, some people call this a statement. So what we're going to do right here for this inequality, okay, in order for this statement, this is the inequality symbol, of course, but and then all this together, some people call this a statements. I still call them inequalities. And what we need to do, we need to find out the possible values of x so that this statement can be true. And I'm going to go ahead and process and dissect this problem. And I'm going to show you how I do this, my friends. So now you might have another or a different or even better way to do these inequalities. And if you do, please do so. I'm just going to show you the way that I think is easier for me. So what I like to do first, whenever I have this inequality, I'm going to rewrite this inequality, again, this problem, but this time I'm going to substitute the value, not the value, the inequality symbol by an equal sign. And I'm going to make it look just like an equation. You see? It's just like an equation. Now, nonetheless, my friends, please never forget the direction or the relationship of the variable and the inequality symbol. You see how they're pointed at each other? It looks like the x is on the side or in the place of the bigger value. Okay, so let us not forget about that. So for right now, just temporary, I'm going to substitute this inequality symbol by this equal sign. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and solve the value or for this equation, or find the value for this x the way I already know, like if this was an equation. Okay, so therefore I can tell that x is equals to 3, because if I do 9 plus x, or 9 plus 3, is going to be equals to 12. So now remember, let us go back and remember the relationship, the way the inequality symbol is pointing to the variable. Now what I'm going to do right here with my answer, my friends, I'm going to go back and rewrite my answer, and this time now I'm going to substitute back the equal sign by the inequality symbol the way it's shown right here on this, on the original problem. So therefore I can tell that x is going to be greater than 3, and this is going to be my answer, my friends. This is what your GED exam is going to ask you to provide or to point. And x is greater than 3, so therefore x can be 4, or it needs to be 4, 5, 6, etc., and so on, so on, so on. The GED exam is not going to ask you for these values in here. It's only going to ask you for this. I'm just showing these numbers right here for teaching purposes. Okay, so therefore we can tell that in order for this statement to be true, the 9 plus x needs to be greater than 12. So that means that the x has to be either 4, 5, 6, or 7. Don't worry, it's not going to ask you for these values, my friends. It's just going to ask you for this. Okay, and remember, the way that you write this answer is just by uh, substituting back again the equal sign by the inequality symbol, but never forget to always do it on the way that is pointing. It has to be the same way. You see right here, and then you see right here, like this. It needs to be pointing on the same direction to the variable. Okay, let us look at another example right here. So now I have a plus 8 is greater than 18. Okay, so my next step, I'm going to rewrite this problem, this time substituting the inequality symbol by an equal sign. Okay, very nice. You see that? Now next, I'm going to never forget how this right here, this is a little harder because now we have a number in between the variable, but do not worry, my friends. Don't let that confuse you. We're still gonna have to see the way this variable, yeah, well, this variable is pointing to the inequality symbol or vice versa. You see, it looks like the a is on the place of the bigger value. Okay, so once I rewrite my inequality, substituting the inequality symbol with an equal sign, turning this into a equation. Now I'm gonna go ahead and solve for my equation. Okay, and that is a is equals to 10. Okay, now for my last step, I'm gonna rewrite my answer. This time I'm gonna go ahead and do something like this, substitute this symbol like this, because it's the way is my inequality symbol is pointing to the variable. Okay, do this, and there you go. So I can tell that a is greater than 10. So therefore, in order for this statement to be true, the a has to be greater than 10. So the a, you know, hypothetically speaking, it could be 11, 12, 13, 14, and so on and so on. Very good, my friends. Let us look at one more example. Let's look at a couple more examples. So now I have right here y plus 7. Whatever this is always going to have to be smaller than 11. Okay, step number one, I'm going to rewrite my inequality like an equation by substituting the inequality symbol by the equal sign. Excellent. Never forget the way these two are pointing at each other, my friends, okay? Don't forget, because we're going to use this later. Okay, so therefore I can tell for right now that y is equals to 4. Okay, now I'm going to rewrite my answer, bringing back my inequality symbol, and therefore I can tell that y is smaller than 4. So therefore, hypothetically speaking, 4 could be 3, 2, 1, 0, or even negative numbers. Very nice. All right, my friends, let us look at one more example. Okay, on this example right here, I have a that is greater than 5. Okay, a plus b. This is a little bit harder, my friends, because now this is just like a equation that we learned in an earlier lesson. This is a little bit backwards. The result is right here, but don't let this confuse you, my friends. Okay, we just have to concentrate on knowing that 5 plus b, whatever this is always going to be smaller than 8. Okay, and remember, let us concentrate on the way this looks right here and the way it's pointing to the variable right here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and rewrite my inequality with an equal sign. Very good. So 8 equals to 5 plus b. So therefore I can tell that 3 is equals to v. Okay, I'm gonna rewrite my result using my inequality symbol, and never forget the way it's pointing. It looks like it was doing this. You see that it's pointing like this to the variable. So when I write down my result, it's going to be like this. Now on your GED exam, they may also trick you a little bit. They might write the answer like this. Okay, or they might also write the answer like this. And notice that these both answers are correct, and they're actually the same thing, but they're just right backwards. Notice that, however, the 3 is always bigger than the v, and right here also the v is smaller than the 3, so therefore the 3 is also bigger than the v. Okay, so therefore the possible value of v can be 2, 1, or 0. But notice these two results, my friends, are actually the same. They are just the order on which they're written there is just inverted. Okay, so pay a lot of attention to that. Your GED exam may also have those answers for the other examples that we just did. However, not to fear, your GED exam it's not going to give you these two options. It's going to give you either choose one or the other, but not both. Okay, my friends, I have a couple of more examples before I let you go. I have now right here that y plus 7 is smaller than or equals 11. Okay, same process. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my inequality by substituting the inequality symbol for the equal sign. Solve for my equation the way I already know, so therefore I can tell that y is equals to 4. Rewrite my answer bringing back the inequality symbol, so therefore y needs to be smaller than or equals than 4. Now this is going to change a little bit. Look, because I have the y is smaller than or equals to 4. Smaller than. What is smaller than 4? Okay, it's 3, 2, 1. But also it says right here, this little dash right here says that it can be equals to 4. So what is equals to 4? Is 4. So therefore, for this answer right here, the possible answers can be 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time, my friends, remember, we don't have to worry about this. Your GED exam is going to ask you for this answer in here. This is just so that I can prove my work and demonstrate my results to you. Okay, and if you were to substitute any of these values right here for y right here, this statement or this inequality as well as this equation should be true or should be correct. Okay, um, let us do one last example in here. I have 8 that is greater than or equals 5 plus v. This is also a backwards inequality. Well, backwards to us for those of us who write from left to right. I'm gonna rewrite my answer right here. No, not my answer, my inequality with an equal sign. Okay. Find the value for v, that way we already know, and therefore 3 is going to be equals to v, or v is going to be equals to 3. Okay, and then bring back my inequality symbol and notice that my answers, this is my answer right here, and this is also the same answer but is inverted. Okay, very nice. All right, my friends, thank you very much for taking this lesson. Thank you very much for being here, and I hope that you guys have a great day.